As a beginner hiker, I used to make so many mistakes, so I thought I'd put together this video so you don't make the same mistakes too. Let's go! Hello long distance hikers and long term world travellers, Russ here bringing you the best tips and inspiration for hiking around the world. Okay, mistake number one, and that is being dangerously ambitious. There is nothing wrong with being ambitious in hiking or in anything else in life, but it's being dangerously ambitious that is a completely different ball game. For my first ever proper hike, I thought it would be a good idea to hike up Ben Nevis, which is the tallest mountain in Britain, in the winter with absolutely no prior experience at all. I drove all the way up to Scotland. It was my first ever solo travelling trip. And I drove up to Fort William and I saw the top of Ben Nevis completely snow-capped, and I thought, wow, this is going to be so cool. Which is a very naive thing to think in the first place. Any experienced hiker would be like, right, there's snow up there, it's going to be a completely different ball game and we've got to take care. Anyway, I went into a hiking store in Fort William. All I needed to get was a headlamp because that's all I thought that I needed. And these guys working in that store took one look at me and they said, are you going up Ben Nevis today? And I said, yeah. They asked me, am I going on my own? And I said, yeah. And they looked at me as if I was completely and utterly bonkers because they could see the gear that I was wearing. They saw my boots and they were like, you have literally no idea what you're doing, do you? After taking a look at my boots, they were like, right, these are definitely not the right ones for your trip. I mean, you could attempt it, but they were just normal kind of flexible hiking boots. And they swapped them out for a pair of grey day hiking boots which were stiff so that I could put crampons to them. I had absolutely no idea what a crampon even was. So yeah, they kitted me out with these crampons and these boots, and they also gave me an ice axe. They even gave me a quick crash course on how to self-arrest, and I was sat there thinking, what have I got myself into? All I wanted to do was hike up this mountain. It wasn't like I wanted to do any kind of mountaineering or climbing, but after they gave me this crash course, which was extremely helpful, I literally think these guys saved my life that day. Anyway, so the very next day I got up bright and early and went on my merry way hiking up Ben Nevis. I had all the gear that they gave me and the boots and crampons weighed an absolute ton. I got pretty much most of the way up there. I got into the snow line and boom, a whiteout and a blizzard set in. I got about 100 meters from the summit and had to turn back because the path was just completely gone. I had no idea where I was, how far I'd come. So I was like, I'm just turning back. I sat there for a minute and all I could hear was the snowflakes hitting the ground and the wind rushing past. I couldn't see anything. All I knew was that this way going up the mountain, the path was completely gone. I couldn't see a thing. And going back the other way, I could vaguely see the path and the stones that were kind of leading the way. And I knew if I started to leave now and head back, then I definitely would make it back. If I was to keep going, I didn't know how to use the compass that I had. I didn't know how to use that with the map. I had no idea how to find the route. There were stone cairns marking the way all the way up, but I didn't know what they were for. So sat there in this blizzard and in this whiteout, I then decided to just turn back. It was the safest option. The very next day, the weirdest thing happened. My friend back in London, he messaged me and said, mate, have you checked the news? And I checked the news and there was this report of, I think it was either the day that I went up there or the very next day, a young lad from London, I think he was about 23 or 24, his name was Kyle Knox. I think you can actually go and Google his name and it comes up. This lad actually went missing after doing exactly the same journey that I did. I drove all the way up from London just like he did, and then he attempted to hike Ben Nevis on his own, and then he went missing. About 3 weeks later, his body was found at the bottom of the North Face where he had actually made it to the summit but hiked all the way off the edge and over a lip of snow that had just been drafted off by this blizzard. And the poor lad died. It was absolutely horrific to hear and to know that he had the exact same kind of journey as I did. So yeah, that story really brought it home to me and made me realise exactly how important it is not to be overly or dangerously ambitious when you're first starting hiking. This activity isn't the safest of activities and you have to have some idea of what you're doing, especially if you're going hiking in the winter season. My advice on this would be to be ambitious and don't hold yourself back, but don't do anything that's too off the scale or off the grid, and practice on hikes in the summer and in places where there's going to be a lot of people on the trails. It's crazy stuff, guys, but you really have to be careful out there. Anyway, mistake number 2, and that is packing stuff that I just didn't need. I used to take really luxury items with me, such as like an Amazon Kindle, and after like my 3rd or 4th hike carrying this thing, I never even used it once. I think I tried to use it on the first night, but I was so tired after hiking my first like 10 miles. I was like, why have I even bought this? I don't even want to read it. So that was one really useless item. Doing 3-season hiking minus the winter, I'd always bring way too many layers. Yes, we're in Great Britain and it's not exactly the warmest climate. Even in the summer it can get cold and wet, but I used to take so many layers, like way too many. I used to bring like 2 extra pairs of hoodies, maybe 2 t-shirts and maybe 4 or 5 sets of underwear, just in case my original ones got wet in the rain. I didn't want to be stuck with wet underwear for the entire trip, but I just didn't need all of those things. All I needed was a shirt, a base layer, a down puffy jacket and a waterproof shell. Just those 4 things, as well as like my socks and my underwear for just the amount of days that I was going. I also used to take way too many pairs of socks. Like I'd bring 2 pairs of socks for each day for the same reason, just in case they got wet. But yeah, save space, save weight, and don't bring more clothes than you actually need. Okay, mistake number 4, and that is not properly testing and understanding my gear before I head out on the trail. For instance, on the South Downs Way 100-mile hike that I did, I bought with me a brand new Z-Packs Solplex tent. The day before I set out, I just quickly set it up in a field, and I didn't really sleep in it for the entire night, but I kind of set it up, got a feel for how it kind of sets up and things like that, and how quickly I could do it, and I was like, right, I think I'm ready. But what I should have done is at least spent one night in this tent somewhere nearby, just to properly test it out. If I had done so, then what I would have realised is that I should have made sure that before I pack this thing out that I keep the zipper for the bug net completely closed. And of course I didn't know that, so the first night on the South Downs Way I set up my tent, the bug net was completely wide open and a load of insects like moths and crane flies all flew into my tent, and I spent the best part of an hour trying to get them out. It was really frustrating, really annoying, and if I'd known to make sure that that zipper was done up properly, then I wouldn't have had the same issue. The last tent that I used to have, the OEX Fox one, didn't actually have that issue, because when I set it up, the first layer of tent that I set up, the zipper of where you get in actually overlapped the frame, so it wasn't too bad and insects wouldn't really get in, and also it had a fly sheet to put on as well, so that eliminated that issue. Whereas the Solplex was my first ever 1-layered tent, 1-ply tent, and obviously when you set that up it's going to be completely open. So yeah, if I'd set it up the night before and spent the night in it properly, then I wouldn't have had that issue. Okay, and the 5th mistake that I made as a beginner backpacker and hiker was that I would push myself too hard and injure myself. I first started doing my practice hikes, whether they be day hikes or overnight hikes, on the southwest coast path, which is a notoriously difficult path to walk because of the amount of elevation gain that you get going along it. It's ridiculous. I think if you walk the entire 630 miles all the way around it, you gain as much elevation as hiking to 4 Mount Everest summits, which is insane. So firstly, I picked a notoriously difficult trail to hike. Secondly, I tried walking a full 20 miles in my first long distance hike. It was just for the day. I thought I'll see how far I can go. I thought, yep, 10 miles one way, 10 miles the other way, and I'll be absolutely fine. But towards the end of it, my legs and my knees were absolutely done in. I don't know how I made it all that way. I was in so much pain. And for about 3 or 4 days after that, I could barely even walk. It was ridiculous. I wish maybe I'd started on like a 4-mile hike and then a 4-mile hike back, just doing like 8 miles or something like that. But no, I had to go for a full 20 miles to see if I could do it. I mean, I did it, but I suffered for it in the long run. Over the last couple of years since then, I've set myself mileages which are definitely doable, and anything over that is just an absolute bonus. I slowly built myself up, doing 10 miles, 15 miles, 20 miles after that, 25 miles, until I got to 30 miles in one day on the South Downs Way. That was very, very difficult indeed, but I got there, and even though in the past when I'd done 20 miles in one day, I was completely knackered and couldn't walk barely for 2 or 3 days. After doing that really big push for 30 miles on the South Downs Way, I was still able the next day to do a 15-mile trek to the end, which was a really big goal for myself and one that I'd built myself up to slowly over the couple of years that I've been hiking. So yeah, there you go guys, those are my 5 biggest backpacking mistakes that I made as a beginner hiker. Okay, campfire question, what mistakes did you make as a beginner hiker and how did you overcome them? Let the Trail Hunter community know in the comments section below, we would really love to hear from you. Okay folks, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you liked it, then hit that thumbs up. Do consider watching either of the videos to my side here. Also, if you haven't already, do consider subscribing to my channel for more videos just like this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one.